For those of you with us on our web stream this evening, there have been a couple of technical issues that we've encountered here at the arena, but we'll be getting our pregame going here in just a couple of moments. We thank you for your patience. We'll be with you in just a little bit. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. We welcome you to the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse at tonight's coverage of Viking volleyball here on the VCSU Athletics YouTube channel and on the Voice of the Vikings, the Voice of the Valley, KOVC. Ryan Cunningham with you here tonight as it's the start of conference play, and the Vikings officially enter that new frontier that we've been talking about throughout the course of the summer. Getting ready for Frontier Conference play tonight against a familiar opponent in Mayville State University, who also enters the Frontier Conference. And three big matches coming up this week for the Vikings here in this field house, and that's different. Obviously, the conference is different. The confines are a little bit different. This matchup's been played in Mayville State a couple of times before, I should say here at the field house, with Mayville State a couple of times before, but Gratian Gym, typically where we hang out, and tonight we're going to be here at the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse for what should be a really exciting matchup. And the Vikings had a pretty exciting non-conference season when they went to, it was a short season, shorter than we are typically used to, I guess you could say, with the addition of conference play and the addition of a number of teams. Well, you don't have to go out and hunt down as many non-conference games. And so basically the non-conference season was a matchup with Dakota Wesleyan here a couple of weekends ago and a trip down to Sioux City, and now we're ready to roll inside matches that will count in the league this evening. Mayville State comes in with a record of 2-2. The Vikings receiving votes in the latest poll that came out today. They are currently 2-3, and we're glad to have you along with us for this one tonight. Now, as we start off our broadcast this evening, for those of you on the video side of things, just to mention, we've had some technical issues that have come up here tonight at the field house, and we're going to continue to work on those. They are old and known issues, but there were some moving of parts that went on as the gym flipped from last year to this year, and the players and the scorers table no longer on this side of the arena. So that's led to some problems with our scorekeeping operation tonight. And so we're going to go back to the old manual way of doing this throughout the evening. And I'll tell you what, I'm a radio broadcaster by trade, so if you're wondering what the score is and you don't think it's right, I'll make sure to check the scoreboard and try to correct that throughout the course of the night. I promise you. But tonight, Vikings and Comets set to do battle at what should be a lot of fun. A big league that we have as we take a look at the standings coming into tonight. For those of you on the video side of things, you can see the standings on your screen right now. And as we get started, there is no record for anybody. This is the opener for conference play, but as you can see, there's been a sample size of varying lengths for various teams out there. Everything from 4 matches that Mayville State's played, Bismarck State has played, all the way up to 8 matches that the University of Providence has played. Providence moved up to number 5 in this week's poll, so that information was accurate as of this morning, but not accurate as of this afternoon. Don't worry, by Friday, we'll go ahead and get that corrected for you when the Vikings are at home to take on Montana State Western, and they'll have Montana Tech coming up on Saturday. But Providence ranked 5th this week, and Bellevue University ranked 3rd in the country this week. Varying records all the way through this, including the Vikings, who are 2-3, Mayville State 2-2, and always a really good rivalry when these two teams get together. Last night, we had a chance to catch up with Michelle Micklejohn. Now, due to our abbreviated pregame report, we won't be able to bring you all of those comments this evening. We'll try to bring some to you during intermissions throughout the course of the night if we can, but our apologies for that. However, in part 1 of our conversation, we began by breaking down what was the non-conference play and the non-conference season, a short one this year for Valley City State. Michelle, you had a pretty interesting non-conference run down in Sioux City, Iowa, and I thought, wow, it's hard for you to break down exactly what happened down there. Took the 7th-ranked team in the country to 5 sets, maybe had a couple of matches where you wanted to fare better than you did, and then had a couple of really nice wins down there all at the same time. So some general thoughts on how this thing got started this time around.
Yeah, we started at Morningside on Thursday, and they're a good team. They play in the GPAC. They're always really competitive, so that was a really good win for us. And then, especially on the road, like those games aren't always easy, but then we went to that tournament, and we played 3 matches. We played some really good competition. Oklahoma Wesleyan was first, and I thought, man, we had our chances. And I think they're number 13 or 14 or something like that. And then that night we played number 7, which is Northwestern, and they're a really good team. And I think we did a good job of competing with them and putting ourselves in a good position at the end. We just made a few too many errors, I think, unforced errors at the end. And then we turned around the next morning, and that's a hard turnaround, playing those 2 really tough opponents. 3 really tough opponents, but I think we figured out how to get a win at the end of the day against Missouri Valley, and it wasn't pretty, but a win's a win, and I really think we came back a better team than we went down there, so I was pleased with that outcome. So yeah.
And expecting a huge amount of success in the wins and loss category might have been a bit too ambitious, because you had to completely change your system. You know, last year, Sadie Hansen was your setter, and she was going to go all the way around. You've got 2 new setters, and looking at the numbers, man, there's a foot race. 100 assists, 99 assists between Schumacher and Bogenreef. But experimenting with the 6-2 lineup, you must be pleasantly surprised with how quickly it took.
Yeah, they're 2... I say we didn't really skip a beat, but obviously Sadie Hansen was a very good setter, and obviously setting all the way around, the same setter the whole time. That's just an adjustment for hitters, and I think they're doing a really nice job off of both Gracie and Madden, and am really pleased with like the distribution, their decision making, all of that has like grown tremendously from day one, and Sadie coaching them up and being their setting coach has really helped us and made them better players, like obviously from day one, because it was kind of a quick, we only had 10 days of preseason, but they've been doing a really nice job, and I'm really proud of both of them. But like I said, their decision making is something I'm really pleased with, and we're trying to get our middles the ball a little more and like balance the offense a little bit, and they're learning, so it's going really well though.
Now, those comments earlier from the head coach of the Vikings, Michelle Micklejohn, and obviously the big change for the Vikings this year is going to be at the setter's position. An All-American in Sadie Hansen, who's played all around. For those of you that might not be as familiar with volleyball lexicon, what that means is that she's going to play all 6 positions on the floor and be the one setter throughout the course of a match. And the Vikings have gone away from that system in favor of 2 setters, Gracie Schumacher, a senior, and Madden Bogenreef, a freshman. And together, they've come together and produced 199 assists so far this year, and they are separated by 1. Gracie Schumacher has 100 of those assists. Madden Bogenreef has 99 of those assists this year. And so in the long run, it has been a very, very balanced offense that they have coming in as far as those 2. Now, you heard Michelle Micklejohn mention that the Vikings want to get their middles the ball a little bit more. That's something we'll talk about later. But the production from the middle, as far as the kill ratio, has not been exactly what the Vikings were hoping for in these first 5 matches. The block has certainly been there from Morgan Freege, from Danielle Hagler. They've combined so far for 44 blocks, just those 2 this year, but they do need a little bit of help from the offense in that situation. They're both hitting at a high percentage, higher percentage than really you'd want to not get them the ball at. Danielle Hagler's hitting .375 this season. Morgan Freege's hitting .229, and so right now you can't really afford to not get them the volleyball in the course of this matchup. That means that it's going to be a big opportunity tonight for them. And when we start talking about Mayville State, well, they've got a huge target in the middle that they're going to try to get the ball to a lot, that we saw begin to break out of her shell last year. And now as a junior, she's going to be expected to be the leader of that Mayville State University volleyball team coming into this season. That's Andrea Myshak, who's out of central Minnesota at 6'2". But the one thing that will stand out about the Comets be a little bit of a lack of size tonight. We'll talk more about that in our starting lineups coming up here in a couple of moments. We are going to pause for our national anthem here at the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse, and we'll come back with more in our pregame report brought to you by Sanford Health Valley City. Here for all, here for good. That'll include our starting lineups and the start of tonight's play. This is our coverage of Viking volleyball on the VCSU Athletics YouTube channel and also on the Voice of the Vikings and the Voice of the Valley, KOVC. We're back with more in a couple of moments.
Experience the thrill, feel the passion, and join the excitement. Tickets on sale now at VCSUVikings.com.
Lang hard to the basket with a 2-hand flush. He burst through it. He's to the end zone. Touchdown, Valley City State.
Here's the game-winning shot. Does it go? Yes, it does!
Nelson on the attack. Olin can't make the play. The Vikings sweep the Jimmy.
When you're craving the taste of juicy, flavorful, locally sourced beef and pork, look no further than your locally owned Valley Meat Supply. At Valley Meat Supply, we take pride in bringing you the finest cuts of beef and pork straight from local producers. So whether you're planning a mouth-watering barbecue or a cozy family meal, choose Valley Meat Supply for the highest quality, locally grown beef, pork, and award-winning jerky, sticks, and sausage. Valley Meat Supply, West Main, Valley City. Your taste buds will thank you.
Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Laco Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue or Chase Carpenter at 701-845-6938. Securities offered through LPL Financial. Member FINRA, SIPC.
Hi, this is Clint from Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy in beautiful downtown Valley City, your only locally owned pharmacy since 1989. When you're locally owned, you care about your community and your customers. We offer a great selection of gifts and toys, as well as yarns, fabrics, sewing, and crafting. We are here for you from 9 to 5:30 weekdays and Saturdays 9 to 1. For all your pharmaceutical needs, give us a call, 845-5280.
Health Mart, taking time to listen and care.
Welcome back to our coverage of Viking volleyball tonight here on the Voice of the Vikings, the Voice of the Valley, KOVC, and on the VCSU Athletics YouTube channel tonight. Valley City State at 2-3 takes on Mayville State 2-2 in the opener of Frontier Conference play. Let's take a look at our starting lineups for tonight's matchup, and we'll go first of all with the starters for Mayville State University, which is a little bit of a jumble right now as they did not submit a complete roster to Valley City State, it would appear today, or else there were some numbers that got changed severely in this one this evening. So we're just going to do our best to pencil in what we've got based on what's on the scoreboard right now and see if we can't figure out who's going to start a match tonight for Mayville State University. It's going to be a little bit interesting in this one tonight. All right, let's take a look at it. First of all, the setter tonight will be Noel Erickson, a 5'7" junior out of Argusville, North Dakota. Starting at the hitter's positions tonight, at the outside, Jocelyn Austin, a 5'8" junior from Grandin, North Dakota. Catherine Agnew will start at the middle, a 5'8" sophomore from Bagley, Minnesota. Tonight, starting at one of the outside hitter positions will be Destiny Swanky, a 5'9" senior from Leeds, North Dakota. Also tonight, Candace DeWitts will get a start tonight as well, I believe at a middle. Candace is not on the roster here tonight for Mayville State University. And Andrea Myshak will get a start tonight at the middle, a 6'2" junior from Albany, Minnesota, and she will definitely be a player to watch. Alora Pesa in her first season as the head coach of Mayville State University. Peyton Richter in her first season as an assistant coach. Tonight for the Vikings, they'll line it up this way. The starting setter tonight will be Gracie Schumacher, 5'6" junior out of Linton, North Dakota this evening. As far as the hitters are concerned, Macy Frigin on the outside, the transfer out of the University of Jamestown, a senior at 6'1". She's leading the team right now with 55 kills and has been heavily active throughout the course of the season. A defensive specialist tonight will be Delaney Clark. She'll go at a 5'5" senior out of Bismarck, North Dakota, will get the start, likely at the libero's position this evening. Ellie Lucas will get a start tonight. A 6-foot sophomore outside hitter from Argusville, North Dakota. The connection to Northern Gas continues for the Vikings. Rosie Anderson, 6'1" senior from Moorhead, over from the basketball team a couple of years ago. We're happy to have her because right now she's had a great season with 31 kills and 13 blocks so far this year. And Morgan Freege is going to start in the middle tonight. 5'11" senior out of Edmore, North Dakota for the Vikings under head coach Michelle Micklejohn. Those are your starting lineups that we have for you this evening. And we get ready for the start of tonight's matchup. We want to mention that Valley City State welcomes all student athletes, officials, and spectators to tonight's contest. As a member of the NAI and the Frontier Conference, they're committed to the true spirit of competition and being champions of character, demonstrated through 5 core character values: respect, integrity, responsibility, servant leadership, and sportsmanship. The Frontier Conference would like to thank their corporate partners, BSN Sports and Nike, Cooper Tire and Tire-Rama, the D.A. Davidson Companies, Irk Hotels, First Interstate Bank, Billings Clinic and Logan Health, McDonald's of Great Falls, Northwestern Energy, Pepsi and the Harrington Bottling Company, Snap Mobile, WinOne Technologies, and the Montana Army National Guard. Uncommon is calling. Don't forget to download the Frontier Conference app in partnership with Snap Mobile. The app is free to download. Search for FC Sports in the App Store on Apple or Google Play for Android. And thank you for watching and listening to tonight's contest. Mayville State will be on our right. Valley City State will be on our left. Again, we apologize for our scoreboard difficulties that we have tonight. It is not our best foot forward when we've got technical issues here at the arena, but hopefully we'll get at least a handful of those fixed up before tomorrow night's football game. Again, tomorrow night, the Vikings set to go up against Augsburg, the Augies, in the final non-conference game of this season in football. That'll be here at Dakota Bank Field and Lockett Stadium. It's a 6 o'clock kickoff tomorrow night for the Egg Bowl. Tonight is South Central Selects night here at the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. Club volleyball here in town. The Vikings will have J.C. Richter back as a libero this evening to get started. So Delaney Clark will start DS and Richter will start as the libero. And we are underway with volleyball in the Frontier Conference tonight, and it's a serve that lips off the top of the net. It'll be a let serve and returned by Mayville State on a bit of a broken play. Vikings set middle, Morgan Freege off a block. A cover coming up from the back row, and a quick play at the net by Myshak that goes into the net. An error against Mayville State, and the point will go to the Vikings for the first marker tonight. 1-0 in favor of Valley City State. J.C. Richter back to serve again. Noelle Erickson getting the start as the libero this evening setter for Mayville State. Tori Richter will get the start as the libero this evening. Delaney Clark with a dive out of the back row to cover a play. Macy Frigin sends one over on a free ball. Mayville State playing. They come to the near edge. That one's a tap by DeWitts. Back towards the right side. Off a block. Lucas will score. Emma Lucas getting a start tonight as the right side hitter for Valley City State. The Vikings take a 2-0 margin here in the opening set of the night. We'll see back to serve again for the Vikings. J.C. Richter, 108 digs this season for Richter. She has been an outstanding libero for a handful of years now for the Vikings. Another let's serve comes back to Myshak. She'll tip it through, and that's into the net. Another point for the Vikings. Another tip up front for Myshak. The Comets have not really been able to get her the ball so far. And the Vikings take a 3-0 lead here in the early going. We'll see another play by Richter, serving from the near sideline. This time across clean. They'll set middle. Myshak tipping with the left hand. A cover out of the back row by the Vikings. Frigin from the outside is down. Macy Frigin. A quick 4-0 start for Valley City State. Mayville State huddling. Laura Pace, the head coach for the Comets, up off the bench. And the Vikings have a great roll going here in the opening set of the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. Richter set to serve again for Valley City State. Serve on the way towards the back row. Run down out of the back row for the Comets by Destiny Schwanke. A play off the outside for DeWitts. The Vikings handle to the right side again for Lucas. Myshak keeps it alive. It's sent back by DeWitts on second contact. Frigin into a tip battle that'll be blocked to the net by Myshak. And Mayville State gets on the board for the first time. Well, again, for those of you watching the video side of things, our apologies on the scoreboard situation. As we mentioned, it is just not our finest night tonight when it comes down to manually having to run our scoreboard due to issues here, but hopefully we'll get that fixed up tomorrow. Lindsay Nyhagen steps in to serve for Mayville State with the Vikings lead cut to 3 at 4-1 in your LaRue Locker Financial scoreboard. Frigin with a kill down the far sideline. Macy's having a great year. Macy makes it 5-1, 55 kills. She's hitting .203, and considering that she's been the balance of the offense for the Vikings in their very abbreviated non-conference season, the other teams, the opposing teams, know that Frigin's coming at them, and yet she has still been able to find her marks, and the Vikings take a 4-point edge here in the opening set. Anya Puglia will step back through the serving for Valley City State. She comes with an impressive dig. Frigin from the outside again. Richter was able to send that up. Second contact, a tempo try by Mayville State to send it over. Frigin off a block. That covered back row by the Comets from Destiny Schwanke. To the outside once more, sent by DeWitts. The Vikings back to their right side. Lucas gets off a block and scores. 6-1, Valley City State by 5. Emma Lucas has done damage from that right side so far tonight. And the Vikings have hit both pins early. Frigin from the left, from the right, Lucas. The only place they haven't gone yet is the middle. That's something that head coach Michelle Mickeljohn told us she wants to see her team kind of balance up a little bit. Puglia serving up front. Myshak gets a chance to swing and she'll score. So Myshak will make it a 6-2 lead for Valley City State. Her second kill tonight. And the 6'2" Andrea Myshak, we saw her just really explode onto the scene late last year. 39 kills coming into this matchup tonight. A .278 hitter, however. The problem has been getting her the ball, it would appear, throughout the course of the season, and Mayville State will serve. Vikings responding. Lucas attacking deep. Missed it. That'll be an error from Valley City State. The point will go to the Comets. In to serve is number 24 for Mayville State. Correction, number 29. That'll be Tally Cornillas, who steps in to do the serving for Mayville State. Cornillas will send one from the far sideline. Wobbler towards the near edge. Lucas is able to take it up. Frigin outside down, splits the back row. Almost automatic right now for Macy Frigin. When she's got a clean play, she is targeting rather easily at this point. Frigin having a night. That's her third kill so far this evening for Valley City State. The Vikings back up by 4 here in the opening set, a 7-3 margin. And the Vikings will send Madden Bogenreith back to do the serving. Here's the 6-2 change for Valley City State. The new setter coming in now in the back row. Cornillas comes up with the pass. This will be taken back row by Richter for the Vikings on a dig. Frigin attacking middle. Richter diving to her right to keep that afloat. A block at the net. Teaming up Danielle Hagler, getting together up front with Viking Rosie Anderson. Give them each a half a block, and the Vikings take an 8-3 advantage. The block for Danielle Hagler's been working. 23 blocks. She's got 41 kills, hitting .375. She would say, what damaged knee? Madden Bogenry for the service error. And the point will go to the Comets. They'll make it 8-4 here in the opening set. And Mayville State will make a couple of changes as well. Comets will send a number 9 into the matchup, and we do not have her on the roster tonight either. Like we mentioned, there were a handful of problems tonight here. For those of you that are tuning in, we apologize. An incomplete roster all the way around. We'll see if we can't get a name for you. Attack on the near side, just long from Frigin. The Vikings tried to slide Frigin out to the right pin, and it came up empty. And that will make it an 8-5 lead. Valley City State on top by 3. Danica Hansen, I believe, is checked in for Mayville State. Up front, Hagler trying to send one across. It's blocked, and Rosie Anderson returns it on first contact. Back to the Vikings. Hagler attacking middle. She'll score. Danielle Hagler stepping in again last year in the match with Jamestown. She ended up ripping every ligament she had in that left knee, and it really sent the Viking season into a different mode at that point. They were looking forward to her returning. She's returned, and she's having a great run of things right now as Brooke Anderson will step on for Valley City State to serve. The Vikings lead by 4 at 9-5 on our LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard here in the opening set. Richter with a pass, second contact that time from Lindsay Nyhagen. The attack from Rosie Anderson, dug up back row by Cornillas. A tip on the near side that will go long against Mayville State. The attack coming from Destiny Schwanke, and it goes wide. The point will make it 10-5 in favor of the Vikings. Cornillas had a nice night for Mayville State in the back row this far, leaping out, making a couple of big plays. Nyhagen on second contact. That's something we saw in the numbers today. We'll talk more about that as Nyhagen sets here, sends one to the right pin, and that finds the back line on the far side of the floor. Comets will get, looks like number 26 active tonight, and we don't have her on the roster either. And we took a look at the NAIA on the way, getting ready for the game today. I took a look at the NAIA stat report, and half of these numbers weren't there either. So I'm not sure if Mayville State has different numbers when they're on the road, but we apologize for that, folks. We'd like to tell you more about what's happening out there. Noelle Erickson will serve service error. And that will make it 11-6 in favor of Valley City State. We'll see the return of Morgan Freege. We'll see the return of Delaney Clark for the Vikings. 11-6 here in the opening set. The Vikings took the lead early, and they've maintained momentum. They've been able to side out. Mayville State's not been able to come up with a run. Delaney Clark will serve. Cornillas with a pass. It was errant off to the far side of the floor. Attack from Schwanke right down the middle of the floor. Freege trying to tip strong, ends up pushing one to the net. Point to the Comets. They're back within 4 at 11-7. And Mayville State will send Candace DeWitts back into the matchup. She'll come out and play an outside pin. 11-7, Viking lead cut to 4. And Mayville State will have Destiny Schwanke on the back line to serve. Serve on the way over, taken back row that time by J.C. Richter on the pass. Lucas tipping strong. That one won't be handled by the Comets. Lucas will come up with a kill. That connection with Northern Cass continues to be strong. Ellie Lucas, Emma Lucas, both amongst the leaders for the Vikings. Ellie's a sophomore out of Argusville. Emma, a senior out of Argusville. And I mean, that connection has been good for Valley City State. Obviously, they had additional players that were hitters on the outside during the national tournament run a couple of years ago. Here's a play at the net that'll get through for Mayville State. Swing and a score for Candace DeWitts up front. Comets back within 4 at 12-8. And this will bring Andrea Myshak back into the matchup. So maybe a chance for the Comets to catch some momentum now. Their big 6'2 hitter comes back into the front row for this rotation. Tori Richter will serve. J.C. Richter dug it up. It's saved, and Freege attacks through a block. Comets cover. Myshak middle. Blocked to the net by Freege. It stays with Mayville State. DeWitt's turning into a play. Covered back row by Delaney Clark. Lucas from the outside. That one partially dug up. DeWitt's got a touch. Now DeWitt's will get it back. Sent it through, and a rundown by Schumacher got there. Lucas will send one strong. Mayville State's back within 3. 12-9 on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. Comets have been down 4-5. Back within 3 now, trying to make a run. The Vikings have been getting touches up front on Myshak's plays. But that time, Mayville State able to score on a bit of a broken play. Tori Richter sending one short. Lucas a dive to get a pass of it. Freege attacking middle. He run down the back row by Schwanke. Back off to the right side. A push that time for Jocelyn Austin in the matchup. And a defeat of a block up front by Freege. Freege will swing and score. The Vikings are back up 4 at 13-9. Well, there you see the Vikings testing their middle offense. Morgan Freege and Danielle Hagler, just too good of hitters. They came in combined for 77 kills, but they were second and then fourth on the team, respectively, and that's good to see balance for the Viking offense, as here's a pass that's blocked by Freege. Good, strong serve coming from Richter, and the pass came right back across the net. Freege went up, blocked it. The Vikings back up 14-9. But when you saw their hitting percentages, Hagler 375, Freege 229, you know you've got to find the volleyball on their hands more often. Richter serving, taken up back row by Schwanke. She'll get it back with a back row attack. That's going to score. Caught the Vikings off guard. Gracie Schumacher, who's out there in her setting rotation, had to make a play on that. Perhaps wasn't ready for it. And the Comets will get back to within 4. Mayville State will make a change in their back. Lindsay Nyhagen will come on to be their setter. Their setters, Noelle Erickson and Lindsay Nyhagen, doing the rotation. Nyhagen has been more successful this season. 67 assists in the first 4 matches of the year for Mayville State. Delaney Clark with a pass for the Vikings. Freege tipping. Got it through. It's covered up front. A swing by Myshak sent it back across. To the right, Lucas got blocked. The Vikings trying to cover. And a good turn by J.C. Richter to keep this ball afloat for the Vikings. Myshak sends one over again on a tip. Richter digs it up. And Frigen down the far sideline mishit it. Frigen wants a tip. Not going to get one. And the Comets are back to within 3 at 14-11. Macy went looking for one right away. Michelle Micklejohn, the head coach of the Vikings, coaches her up a little bit. And Mayville State will be back to serve with Nyhagen stepping back to send one over again. Lead is just 3 at 14-11. Frigen with the pass. Long run for Schumacher to get there. Frigen from the outside, put it in the net. And that will cut the Viking lead to 2 at 14-12. Macy had a long way to go to get to that ball, and just was unable to get there, and the Vikings are going to call for timeout. It'll be a timeout for Valley City State and a timeout that we have here at the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. Your score on the LaRue-Laco Financial Scoreboard, set 1, the Vikings 14, the Comets 12, and our coverage of Viking volleyball will continue next on the VCSU Vikings YouTube channel and on the Voice of the Vikings, the Voice of the Valley, KOVC. Stay with us.
Orthopedic pain is limiting. It's unpredictable. And when it disrupts the way you move, it disrupts the way you live. Life is better when you feel empowered to move the way you want, when you want. And that's where our experts come in. We're your guides to orthopedic and sports medicine treatment options that can manage your pain, rehab your injuries, and restore your confidence. Take back the freedom to move. Explore your orthopedic options at Sanford Health.
Looking for a quality, affordable education to get you the career you want? Strengthen your resume with a degree from Valley City State University. From education to business, fisheries and wildlife to software engineering, we have it all. Learn more about becoming a Viking today.
Welcome back to Viking volleyball tonight here on the VCSU Vikings YouTube channel. The Voice of the Vikings, the Voice of the Valley, KOVC. And a serve for Lindsay Nyhagen of Mayville State after we saw the Vikings call for timeout with some momentum gone. They get it back to Frigen. Now a block battle at the net. That'll be sent back over by the Comets. Back to Frigen on the attack line into the net. The Comets are back within 1. Mayville State certainly looked at the poll that came out today, and they're going to say to themselves, all right, this is a team that's getting votes in the national poll, and it's a good target not only for conference play, but you go in against a team that's got some national respect, and that will, beyond the Viking-Comet rivalry, get this thing moving tonight. Lucas from the right side defeats a block and gets through, and the Vikings get a much-needed side out, 15-13. The Vikings back up by 2 on our LaRue-Laco Financial Scoreboard, and we will see Danielle Hagler coming into the front row, and the Vikings will send Anna Puliu into the back row. She'll do the serving and take over as a defensive specialist. Puliu sends it over, and Richter has to dive to make the pass. Myshak, good dig by J.C. Richter to dig that up. Back set, right pin, Lucas knocks it down. That's a big play for Valley City State to get Emma Lucas from that right pin, who's been so good tonight. But the Vikings start with J.C. Richter digging up a big ball from Myshak. She ends up sending it up right where the Viking offense could work with it. Serve on the way once again from Puliu. Taken towards the near side of the floor. That'll be sent over by Candace DeWitz of Mayville State. Set up front, Hagler tipping. A cover back towards the back row. Back to DeWitz, got through a block. That one's wide. They're looking for a tip. Officials don't see one, and the Vikings will get the point. It was close to a tip. Obviously, there were hands in the situation, and our R1 tonight doing a nice job. I believe that's Chris Mahoney. That's our R1 tonight that took a look both ways, as we'll see a serve going into the net off the hands of Anapulju. Another service error against the Vikings. But you know you have a quality R1 when you see a play like that. The ball's down, and before there's an indicator, you get the whistle, but you see nothing else. He checks with his two line judges, and that's exactly what Mahoney did that time and saw nothing. And a good piece of officiating there. Carnillas will step back in to serve for Mayville State. The lead is 3 for the Vikings. Pridgeon having to tip, hit the pole, waiting for a call here. That's going to be the Vikings that are going to score, or is it an official's error? They're going to give the point to Mayville State. The ball hit the pole. The question was going to be whether or not the ball hit the pole from a Viking or a Comet returning it. And at the turn, it's going to be Mayville State that gets the point in that situation. Vikings setting towards their right pin. Lucas will send it back over. Nyhagen stepping off the surface. Cornillas from the back row, blocked by Hagler. Now she wants it back. Richter able to dig her up that time for the Comets. Back off to the right, a block up front. Danielle Hagler getting up and owning that one. Pridgeon was there as well. The Vikings get a team-up block to shut down the right side for Mayville State. And it's now 18-15 in favor of the Vikings. Vikings leading by 3 in the opening set. Opening match of Frontier Conference play. But a familiar opponent nonetheless. And the Vikings will send one over with Madden Bogenreef doing the serving. Nyhagen blocks. Ball comes back out towards the pin and taken up on the far side for the Comets by Destiny Schwanke. Pridgeon sending one weakly to the back row. Cornillas was there to make a pass of it. Back to Schwanke again through traffic. Run down by J.C. Richter. Hagler swinging away. Cover by Nyhagen. Comets out of system. Richter will set. And the attack goes long off the net. Comets looking for a tip. Not going to get one. The Vikings will get the point on the error. Makes it 19-15. Destiny Schwanke getting a lot of swings, and now it's Mayville State that wants the timeout. So the Comets will call for a stoppage. It's 19-15. Valley City State by 4 on our LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. We have a timeout from the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse, and we're back with more next on Viking Volleyball.
When your team, school, or business needs custom apparel or promotional products, Rambo is here to help. With over 40 years of industry-leading experience, state-of-the-art machines, and dedicated employees, we have the tools and facility to handle any job. With online ordering solutions for sports teams and businesses alike, you can count on us to get the job done correctly and on time. Get your next project started, contact Matt or visit us online at rambo.com.
Why choose Professional Eye Care Centers? 3 great reasons are Dr. Bond, Dr. Freilich, and Dr. Jangula, 3 of the most educated professional optometrists you'll ever meet. Next is their many locations. You can now see one of their spectacular doctors in Jamestown, Valley City, Carrington, Edgeley, Ellendale, and Lemoore. And finally, their fantastic selection. And yes, all of their frames and lenses are backed up by warranty. Visit proeyecarecenters.com and make an appointment today. Professional Eye Care Centers, clearly the best.
Timeout taken by Mayville State as the Vikings re-widen their lead. It was down to 1 at one juncture. Now 19-15, Valley City State. In the later stages of the first, trying to pull away for a set 1 victory. Madden Bogenreef is serving for the Vikings through her setting rotation. Tori Richter making the pass. Nyhagen will set to the outside. Is taken up off the far side, I believe, by Agnew. The attack coming in from Pridgeon. Sent back over on the pass by Richter. Free ball, right pin. Rosie Anderson tipping. Richter with a pancake of it on the near side. Schwanke sends it over to the back row. Comets getting some heroics out of their libero. And now Nyhagen diving out to turn away a Danielle Richter attack. And the Vikings will come up empty on a block. Mayville State gets the point. That was a heck of a rally for Mayville State to come up with a point on. That was huge. A situation where the Vikings had a couple of nice plays, but a pancake block, or rather a pancake dig and then another, turned things around. Mayville State will serve. It's taken up by Richter in the middle of the floor for the Vikings. Right side, Macy Fridgen getting off a block. She's been a little cool as of late. Back to Schwanke. Big play by Bogenreef out of the back row. Richter trying to set. Attack line, Fridgen now from the outside pin. Mayville State was there. Nyhagen up front. Block at the net again. Another play for Danielle Hagler. And the Vikings get to 20. They're in the red zone. 20-16. Vikings by 4 on your LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. And Valley City State will send a new player in to do the serving in the form of Brooke Anderson. Vikings send it over. Nyhagen attacking on second contact. Vikings were ready and reasonably so. Rosie Anderson sent it over. You could see that coming as you took a look at how this would play out as far as the numbers tonight. That two-tempo try from Mayville State is written into their DNA, and they've tried it a couple of times this evening. And a play off the back line that's going to score for Mayville State. Still trying to pencil in who some of these players are for the Comets, and we apologize for that. It looks like Danica Hansen is wearing number 9 tonight, so we can write that one down. And we'd love to find out who number 26 is. That is going to be, well, she's not on the roster either. They don't have her listed on the roster at all this evening, and we don't have her in our stat report either. So we'll have to do some digging during the intermission to see what we can do for you in that regard. Comets serving, an attack from Lucas that's taken up by Richter in the back row. Up front, long attack, going to be too long from Catherine Agnew. And the point will go to the Vikings on a side out, make it 21-17. Valley City State by 4. Delaney Clark will come into the matchup for the Vikings. Clark ready to go for the Vikings, looking to try to put this set away, although Mayville State's done a really nice job of hanging in there when the momentum has not been on their side. Here comes 4 contacts as a play from Destiny Schwanke goes into the net. Vikings back up 5, and that's going to necessitate another timeout from Mayville State. 22-17, the Vikings by 5 in our LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. We have a timeout on the floor. We're back with more in a moment on Viking Volleyball.
We aren't meant to be still. And while you determine the direction you'll go, we're just here to help you along the way. So go. Go with experience. Go with teamwork. Go with neighbors. Go with integrity.
Hey college students, are you looking for a part-time job that works around your schedule, pays well, and gives you free money for college every year? McDonald's offers all of it. We can work around your schedule, and we give $2,500 scholarships to everyone who works for 3 months and averages 15 hours per week. That's 2 full shifts a week or 3 shifts of 5 hours. It's that easy. Let us help you become our next scholarship recipient. Come join our team. Text ND29 to 38000 to apply today.
All right, Trinity Nyancourt is wearing number 26 tonight. We're getting closer. We were able to find that out during the break. Trinity Nyancourt, number 26 for Mayville State. Ball comes to Schwanke off the serve from the Vikings. Vikings get a pass up front. Morgan Frigi attacking, missed the far sideline. Point will go to Mayville State. So Trinity Nyancourt, number 26. We're getting closer, fans. We apologize. Again, there's no evidence of a 26 on the roster tonight, a 9 on the roster, so we're having to pencil it in as we go along. 11, Destiny Schwanke wasn't on the roster either. She's serving right now. We had her in the pre-match report tonight. Lucas attacking, that one tipped, and the point will go to the Vikings. 23-18, the Vikings by 5. Mayville State a little incredulous that that was ruled a tip. No one seems to know who touched it. Elora Pesa, the head coach, is up to ask who it was that got it. She's asking the line judge, and the line judge not responding. Saw a tip somewhere. Sometimes it's hard to see who gets a finger on it when you've got that many hands at the net. Gracie Schumacher will serve, and the lefty sends it over with the Vikings 2 points away from an opening set victory if they can find it. Play coming over on a free ball that time from Jocelyn Austin for the Comets. Back set right side, Frigi through a block. A run back row by Schwanke to get to it, and Richter will send over another free ball. Mayville State's done a lot of that tonight. Right side, Lucas attacking. Blocked. The Vikings will keep it alive. Richter first contact. Lucas trying to tip deep, and Schwanke ran it down for Mayville State. Back to the near edge. The play gets through for Candace DeWitz. Comets come up with a point, make it 23-19 on the side out. And maybe a last gasp here from Mayville State. Andrea Myshak will come back into the matchup. Again, the Vikings made some hay the first time around when Myshak wasn't in the lineup. Things are different when the 6'2 hitter from Central Minnesota is back in the matchup. Out of Albany, the attack, huge play up front on the far side for Emma Lucas to bring up a set point. 24-19, Valley City State with a 5-point edge. And the Viking home crowd here on our side of the gym, and it's exclusively home crowd now on our side of the gym, will come to their feet. And we'll see J.C. Richter doing the serving. Play comes to the middle, and Myshak will send it across. That will score. And that will cut the lead to 4 at 24-20. As Andrea Myshak comes up with a tip for Mayville State to keep them in it. Still, or rather, set point for the Vikings. We'll see Lindsay Nyhagen go back to do the serving now for Mayville State. Nyhagen will serve from the far edge of the floor. Vikings looking for one to take a 1-0 lead. Delaney Clark making the pass. Big attack from Free G. She'll score. The Vikings take a 25-20 edge and win the opening matchup by a score of 25-20. Valley City State with a 1-0 lead as they make it 25-20 here at the end of a set tonight. And we'll go to set number 2 after our intermission, which is presented by Rambo. We're in the business of making you look good at Rambo. We'll come back with set number 2 next. This is Viking Volleyball on the VCU Athletics YouTube channel, along with the voice of the Vikings and the voice of the Valley, KOBC.
Experience the thrill, feel the passion, and join the excitement. Tickets on sale now at VCSUVikings.com.
Olang hard to the basket with a two-hand flush. He burst through it. He's to the end zone. Touchdown, Valley City State.
Here's the game-winning shot. Does it go? Yes, it does!
Nelson on the attack. Poland can't make the play. The Vikings sweep the Jimmy.
When you're craving the taste of juicy, flavorful, locally sourced beef and pork, look no further than your locally owned Valley Meat Supply. At Valley Meat Supply, we take pride in bringing you the finest cuts of beef and pork straight from local producers. So whether you're planning a mouth-watering barbecue or a cozy family meal, choose Valley Meat Supply for the highest quality, locally grown beef, pork, and award-winning jerky, sticks, and sausage. Valley Meat Supply, West Main, Valley City. Your taste buds will thank you.
Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Laco Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue or Chase Carpenter at 701-845-6938. Securities offered through LPL Financial. Member FINRA, SIPC.
Hi, this is Clint from Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy in beautiful downtown Valley City, your only locally owned pharmacy since 1989. When you're locally owned, you care about your community and your customers. We offer a great selection of gifts and toys, as well as yarns, fabrics, sewing, and crafting. We are here for you from 9 to 5:30 weekdays and Saturdays 9 to 1. For all your pharmaceutical needs, give us a call, 845-5280.
Health Mart, taking time to listen and care.
Welcome back to Viking Volleyball as we get ready for set number 2. The Vikings leading 1-0 on our LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. The Vikings to watch coming into this matchup tonight. Macy Fridgen coming into the night, 55 kills, a .203 hitting percentage. She was first team All North Star Athletic Association a year ago, and an honorable mention for All-American honors. Danielle Hagler on the right side of your screen tonight for those of you that are with us on video. 41 kills. And a bit of a misprint on the hitting percentage there. That's 2025. That's for this year, okay? 2023, she was an NSAA first-team player. Last year, of course, devastating knee injury, all 3 ligaments in the matchup with the University of Jamestown. Long, hard road to rehab. Still plays with a heavy knee brace, but she's a competitor. Her family is just a great family. Jeff Hagler, Marla Hagler out of Candu. Just wonderful parents, and they've been around volleyball and sports for a long time as part of Candu Bisbee Eglin or the North Star Bearcats. And then right in the middle of your screen, Gracie Schumacher. How would you like to step in to be the replacement for an All-American in Sadie Hansen? Gracie Schumacher, senior out of Linton, North Dakota. She's the cousin of J.C. Richter, who's the libero for this team. And Gracie stepped in and done a wonderful job. And, of course, as you heard in the pregame report, Sadie Hansen, who's over on the sideline right now for the Vikings, is coaching the setters. And you can't have a better coach for the setters than that. Wanted to mention it's South Central Selects night tonight here at the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. We'll talk more about the South Central Selects as we get going to the second set tonight. But in set number 2, Lindsay Nyhagen will step back to serve for Mayville State, and we're underway. Macy Frigin with a pass, gets it back, fires it, scores from the outside, 1-0, Valley City State. South Central Selects new club volleyball program here in Valley City. My daughter was on one of their teams a year ago, and they had a team that was 18U that went to a national competition in July after winning their regional competition out in Montana, and they're being honored tonight. A number of their players and members of the program wearing their South Central Selects warm-ups. My daughter still wears that in volleyball practice. An attack off the left side. Candace DeWitz will score for Mayville State. And it's a 1-1 tie between the Vikings and Comets as we start set number 2. 1-0, the Vikings win the opener, 25-20. We'll take a look at some of the overall leaders that we have in this one tonight. Macy Frigin with 4 kills leading the way for the Vikings. Destiny Schwanke with 3 so far tonight. Big attack on the outside to score it for Lucas for Valley City State. That'll make it 2-1 in favor of the Vikings. Andrea Myshak just 1 kill in that opening set tonight for the Comets, and they have struggled to find a way to get her active, and you might not expect that that would be a problem when you're 6'2", but teams are definitely game planning for her because the Comets are lacking some height coming into the season. Richter making the pass, set left side, an attack that gets through a block and scores for Destiny Schwanke. That will make it 2 apiece. You've got 6'2" and Andrea Myshak, 5'11" and Haley Johnson, who doesn't do a lot of playing for the Comets, and then, boy, 5'8", 5'9". You can get it done in NAIA volleyball with 5'8", 5'9" from the outside, but your margin for error is so very thin, and when you've got 6'2", you got to make her a part of the lineup. The problem is when they know that that's where you're 6'2", they're going to come after you with a block, and the Vikings have a pretty good one of those throughout the night. Frigin attacking. She got blocked on that play. That one came from Nyan court for the Comets. Tip off the right side. Rosie Anderson trying to keep one afloat. That ball was ruled down before our R1 saw it, our line judge and our R2 saw it, and apparently they're now going to ask for a replay of the point. So we're going to stay tied at 2. And we'll see a conversation between Michelle Mickeljohn, the Viking head coach, and our second referee on the floor tonight about why the play is being replayed. In the meantime, Danica Hansen is back to serve for Mayville State on what will be a replay. So Hansen stands ready, and it's a service error, not exactly the way that the Comets had drawn that up. So Ellie Lucas will step into the matchup in a front row position. And we'll see J.C. Richter going back to serve as the Vikings will bring another Anna Pulio, another defensive specialist in, and this will be Madden Bogenreef's setting rotation as well. And the serve too long from J.C. Richter. We've had a couple of service errors tonight for Valley City State that are a bit uncharacteristic, and that's going to tie up the matchup at 3 apiece. Not a long non-conference season, so every once in a while the bugs that are there in your service game, they might hang around here in match number 6, although you're hoping to cut those down. The Vikings have had a few more of those tonight than perhaps they have wanted. Ball off the near side for the Vikings. Lucas making a slide, and she got the back row. That one just hung through the air, but Ellie Lucas comes up with a play to the back row and scores. And the Vikings take a 4-3 lead here in set number 2. Morgan Frege in front row. So Daniel Hagler getting a chance to go through in the opening rotation of the second set. The Vikings changing up their rotation a little bit. And we've lost our scoreboard. Now it looks like it's come back. Ball towards the right pin for the Comets. They'll send it across with Destiny Schwanke. Delaney Clark ran it down in a deep pitch from Ellie Lucas that's dug up in the back row by Cornelius. A block at the net. Frege coming up with Rosie Anderson to block an attempt up front from Schwanke. The Vikings will take a 5-3 lead. Another block for the Vikings, and that's been a big part of what Michelle Mickeljohn has wanted to do in her time here at Valley City State. Hagler 23 blocks, Frege 21 blocks, and a kill, actually an ace rather, for the Vikings. A rare ace. We haven't seen one of those yet tonight. Destiny Schwanke with an errant pass. That'll push the Viking lead to 3. It's now 6-3 in favor of the Vikings. Great crowd here tonight on the Viking side of the floor. They have really got a fantastic home crowd where we're at this evening. And a serve on the wing from Delaney Clark. Cornilla's down to get it awkwardly. She was able to get it. Schwanke will send it across. The Vikings have a free ball to play. A big bruising play by Morgan Frege, but Tori Richter dug it up. Back to the outside, and that one will be down for Ellie Lucas. 7-3, and a timeout going to be taken by Mayville State as the Vikings try to take some early control of the second set. On the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard, the Vikings lead at 1-0, and they lead set 2, 7-3. We've got a timeout. We're back with more in a couple of moments. This is Viking Volleyball.
Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Laco Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue or Chase Carpenter at 701-845-6938. Securities offered through LPL Financial. Member FINRA, SIPC.
Hi, this is Clint from Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy in beautiful downtown Valley City, your only locally owned pharmacy since 1989. When you're locally owned, you care about your community and your customers. We offer a great selection of gifts and toys, as well as yarns, fabrics, sewing, and crafting. We are here for you from 9 to 5:30 weekdays and Saturdays 9 to 1. For all your pharmaceutical needs, give us a call, 845-5280.
Health Mart, taking time to listen and care.
Vikings leading by a score of 7-3 here in the second set. They lead a set to none, winning the first 25-20. Ryan Cunningham with you tonight. Ellie Tombarge, our videographer this evening from the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse here at Valley City State, where the facelift is beginning. To the south of the building, where the new Thoroldson Training Center is going to be put in, and it's going to be a wonderful addition to the footprint here at Valley City State. We'll talk more about that throughout the course of the season. Schwanke with an attack for Mayville State. Rosie Anderson tipping and scoring. Rosie Anderson, she is going to be a great weapon for Valley City State throughout the course of the year. 6'1", Moorhead, Minnesota senior. Played a couple of years of basketball. Came over to the volleyball team last year exclusively. Really shaped up a body. She went after it hard in the weight room to make herself in game day shape, and she has been just awesome for the Vikings throughout the course of last year and now this year as well. And here's a block by Rosie Anderson, teaming up with Frege, turning away Destiny Schwanke on the outside. Vikings their biggest lead of the night at 9-3 on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. Valley City State serving again, taken off the near side by Schwanke. And we put back across by Schwanke after making the pass as well. Anderson from the right pin got through a touch. Cornillas was there to cover for Mayville State. Schwanke again, this time from the outside long. Mayville State wants a tip they're not going to get. And it's 10-3 in favor of Valley City State. And the Comets will make a change. Noelle Erickson will come into the back row ahead of her setting routine. Checking to see if our scoreboard difficulties had been rectified. They have not. We've got plan B ready for tomorrow night for the football game, I promise you. Here's an attack up front for Catherine Agnew. She will score. And the Comets have cut the Viking lead to 6 at 10-4 here in the second set. But that was a side out that Mayville State badly needed. And now Destiny Schwanke will come back onto the floor. This change with Noelle Erickson stepping in, maybe a bit ahead of her rotation. Not exactly what Alora Pesa at Mayville State were looking for as Morgan Frege steps in and swings through a touch up front to score. But we mentioned Lindsay Nyhagen had 14 kills coming into the night as a setter, hitting .307. You could tell just in the numbers there, particularly registering a hitting percentage as a setter, that Mayville State was looking to use one of their setters' positions as an offensive weapon if they could. As a blocking error, Lucas and Frege trying to get together for a block. They send it wide. Mayville State will get a point back, make it a 6-point lead. But you could tell that Lindsay Nyhagen is looked at as that weapon that can score if she has the opportunity to dump on that second contact. We've seen her try it a couple of times tonight, but the Vikings have been uber prepared for it every time they've seen it, and it has not been the impact Mayville State was really looking for. Lucas from the right pin, taken up back row by Noelle Erickson. Up to the right, there's a big attack that's going to find its way for Jocelyn Austin. First time we see Austin really getting active in the offense tonight for Mayville State. And the Comets have turned the lead back to 5 at 11-6 here in the second set on our LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard. Serve on the way from Richter, and this one will be dug errantly. That's an ace for Richter, and the Vikings have lost a step. 11-7 your score. The Viking lead has been dwindled to 4. Now we'll see a serve coming from Tori Richter again for the Comets. Richter ready, serve on the way. Delaney Clark making the pass. Schumacher runs into a set. Lucas right pin, got through. It's near the crowd. Good save by the Comets, and Schwanke will send it back over on a free ball. Now the Vikings struggling with, but a big tip up front. Morgan Frege getting a hold of what was a broken play with an aggressive and accurate tip. Going side to side from right to left as we took a look at it. Pushes the lead back to 5 for the Vikings at 12-7 here in the second. And the Vikings will send Brooke Anderson back on to serve. Anderson sends one across. A back pedal by Schwanke to make the pass. Austin attacking and scoring. Mayville State finds a bit of a weapon they can work with on that right pin. Nyhagen back in. Nyancourt back in for Mayville State. 12-8. Viking lead is 4 over Mayville State here in the second set. Been an interesting back and forth. The Vikings taking control here in the second. Mayville State trying to whittle into that lead. Pass coming from Phrygian. Tip up front by Frege, but the Comets handle it. They'll go to their far side. DeWitt's got blocked. It's up front now for Myshak. Run down by Delaney Clark after a touch. Lucas right side. Mishit it. Point will go to Mayville State on the error. And the Viking lead dwindles to 3 at 12-9. Vikings hitting 185 as a team tonight. Mayville State just 0-21. That's been part of the issue. The Comets have not had a reliable offensive weapon to go to, but credit where credit's due. They've kept it close without an offense that's really been able to shine tonight. Back row attack for Schwanke, covered by Schumacher on first contact. Vikings out of system. Lucas got blocked, and it misses on the near side of the floor. And the Vikings will get a point on a block that goes wide. Now, Mayville State is lobbying that the far side line judge saw a touch, and our R1 will bring our line judges together to discuss it. So our line judge over on the Mayville State bench indicating that she saw a touch as the ball came back across on the kill attempt by Mayville State. We'll see if the Vikings got a piece of this or not, and they'll talk it through. This is a big play here in the set. 12-9 right now, either 13-9 or 12-10. Mayville State scores here. Things are tight right in the middle of the second set as they try to reverse the early Viking momentum. Conversation continues. Now, I was told at the beginning of the year, and I don't know if it's just for basketball, if replay was going to be a part of what they do here for conference volleyball. I know there was a talk of replay coming into the arena, and let's see what the call is going to be. It's going to be a Viking point. Comet crowd doesn't like it. Delora Pesa up to talk with the R2, asking why it is that the line judge's tip call is not going to be recognized. I'm not sure if replay will be there just for basketball or if it's going to be a part of what happens here in the field house, but talking with the game day staff earlier this season as they were talking about flipping the gym. And what they did is, you'll see for those of you that are watching on video, the scorer's table is on the far side of the gym now. It's always been on this edge. Well, we've had a technical issue here, folks. We apologize, but we've had a power outage that has happened here as well. Off the near side, ball dug up for the Vikings by Madden Bogenreef. And an attempt to come back across the net by Macy Frigid. Right in the middle, it's Nyhagen that sends one back across. For those of you on the video side, we may be back with you now. Our apologies here, as we're going to see a violation against Mayville State. We had a momentary lapse in our video feed as well, another technical issue. And obviously, we're going to have some work to do, folks. With the flip of the gem, we've got some things to work out, and we appreciate your patience that we have in this one tonight. So again, our apologies for all the issues that we're having tonight. It is 15-10, Valley City State by 2. And we'll try to return our scoreboard. Now it will be 16-10, Valley City State by 6. And the Vikings taking a 6-point lead here in the second set, leading a set to none at 25-20. And again, we appreciate those of you that are hanging with us for video coverage. Apologies for the technical issues that we have here tonight. Up front, Myshak attacking and scoring for Mayville State. That'll cut the lead to 5 at 16-11. 16-11 your score, and we'll see Danica Hansen stepping back on the floor for Mayville State. So Hansen stands ready for the Comets as the Comets try to make a charge here. And again, this is a rotation where they've been a little weaker tonight. An attack from Danielle Hagler up front to make it 17-11. They'll get Andrea Myshak back into the matchup now, back row. That will just allow for a libero change to step in. But with Andrea Myshak out of the matchup, Mayville State's been a different story. We've seen that pretty strongly throughout the course of the night. Serve on the way coming from J.C. Richter. This will be back towards the near side. Nyan Court will send it across. A pancake from Richter kept it alive. Now the line judge is indicating that that ball was on the floor, and she's taken her call back. The Vikings come up with a dig, or actually a block, and then another block that sends it wide. The Vikings are going to score, but that was after a line judge had indicated that a ball was down on J.C. Richter's pancake dig. And Elora Pesa steps up to ask about that also. Lead goes to 7. They'll wave it off, and J.C. Richter will serve for the Vikings. Cornelius comes up with a play. This will be sent back over by Destiny Schwanke. Off to the right side, Rosie Anderson into a block, got it back. It'll come back towards the near side. Lucas will tip off the outside pin. Be handled by Schwanke. Back set to Nyancourt, who was touched. It comes back on the Mayville State side. Nyhagen back sets to Schwanke. That's going to score on the outside pin. Some really gritty volleyball going on right now as Mayville State looks for ways to score. Viking lead cut to 6 at 18-12. Noelle Erickson will step in to serve for Mayville State. Erickson sending one towards the near side of the floor. Taken up on the back row by Anna Puliu. An attack down actually by the Vikings is blocked off the left side by Destiny Schwanke. That'll cut the lead to 18-13. We try to get our bearings back here. LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard 18-13. Vikings lead the Comets by 5. The lead has been as big as 7. Noelle Erickson to serve. J.C. Richter making a pass, a good one, to the middle. And a big Danielle Hagler swing will make it 19-13 Vikings. That's the kind of side-out volleyball that the Vikings want to see. Great pass from Richter to get things started. You want her receiving the serve. She's going to be a very good passer. A great libero all the way around, but if you can get her involved early and you can get the offense where you want it to go, the Vikings have side-out capability. They're going to look for that more and more throughout the course of the season. An attack that goes wide from Catherine Agnew. Point will go to the Vikings, make it 20-13, Valley City State by 7. And a timeout will be taken by Mayville State. So the Comets will call for a stoppage with Valley City State leading by 7 here in the second set, 20-13. It's a 7-0 Vikings after a 20-5-20 win in the opener. This is Viking Volleyball. Back with more next on the VCSU Athletics YouTube channel, on NewsDakota.com, the voice of the Vikings, the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Looking for a quality, affordable education to get you the career you want? Strengthen your resume with a degree from Valley City State University. From education to business, fisheries and wildlife to software engineering. We have it all. Learn more about becoming a Viking today.
When your team, school, or business needs custom apparel or promotional products, Rambo is here to help. With over 40 years of industry-leading experience, state-of-the-art machines, and dedicated employees, we have the tools and facility to handle any job. With online ordering solutions for sports teams and businesses alike, you can count on us to get the job done correctly and on time. To get your next project started, contact Matt or visit us online at rambo.com.
Timeout taken by Mayville State. The Vikings with a 7-point lead over the Comets at 20-13 on our LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard, leading a set to none in the matchup, trying to take control of the matchup here. An attack coming up off the left side by Austin for the Comets. Back to the outside for the Vikings, and Lucas gets through a touch. Up front, Schwanke tipping back across, trying to go deep. Run down by Delaney Clark, and a tip by Freegee. How is that not illegal contact? It is. Our R1, Chris Mahoney, had a perfect view of that one, and that certainly was the shovel pass. As someone who's dabbled in a little bit of officiating, sometimes illegal contact is tough to define, but it's one of those things where you know it when you see it. Haley Johnson, a Grand Forks Red River product that I've had a chance to watch for a handful of years, will step on. Really, really good kid. Up front, an attack that gets through. That's for Mayville State on the substitution, by the way. Lucas attacking. Richter comes up with a play for Mayville State. Back to the right. Johnson swinging towards the back row. Covered by Delaney Clark. Rosie Anderson with a tip that goes into the net. 21-14. The lead is cut to 7. And we'll see a change as Cornelius will step off, and Mayville State will return Candace DeWitz to the lineup, while Destiny Schwanke goes back to serve for Mayville State. Schwanke's serve is an error. Mayville State has not made many service errors tonight. So now it becomes a 22-14 matchup for the Vikings. Vikings trying to take a 2-0 advantage here, and Gracie Schumacher will step back to serve. Richter stepping back to make the pass for Mayville State. Set middle, an attack that got through for Catherine Agnew. 22-15, lead trimmed to 7. Vikings winning the first set 25-20, and here comes Andrea Myshak back into the matchup. Mayville State was caught in that rotation for too long. That's why the lead got to be an 8-point margin. With Myshak on the floor, this team is just very different, and the Comets are going to be looking to develop another weapon that at least teams will have to pay constant attention to. Off the far side, a swing from Candace DeWitz. That's going to be one of those weapons they want to develop. DeWitz, a freshman, I believe, out of Bismarck, cuts the lead to 6 at 22-16. In talking with Michelle Micklejohn, the Viking head coach, she said Mayville State has a lot of fresh faces, and they do. And really their leader coming back, very likely. Up front, Myshak, and in the back, Tori Richter, who's had a very nice night tonight as the libero. She'll make a free ball over here. Delaney Clark for the Vikings. Freegee through a touch, scores it. Morgan Freegee has had a very consistent night for the Vikings all throughout the course of the night. Vikings hitting .211 right now as a team. Macy Friggen with 7 kills, Morgan Freegee with 4. Seems like she's been a little bit more active than perhaps that number would give her credit for. Brooke Anderson to serve for Valley City State. Schwanke pushes it up front, and we'll see an attack by Myshak that will get through for Mayville State. She defeats a block. 23-17. Viking lead back to 6 as Lindsay Nyhagen will step into the matchup for Mayville State. So Lindsay Nyhagen comes in for the Comets. The lead 23-17. Nyhagen serves into the net, and the Vikings have set point. Big opportunity here for Valley City State. The crowd will rise to the occasion again. Vikings leading by 7. An opportunity to put the second set away and take a big lead in this first Frontier Conference matchup of the season. And back to serve for the Vikings is Madden Bogenreef, and the pass will go into the net from Richter. Richter steps back to cover it. Bogenreef way up front in order to make a play. Off the right, Lucas attacking the middle. Richter was able to dig that up. Nye in court, put it into the net on a miss hit. An error will make it 25-17. Valley City State takes a commanding 2-0 lead over Mayville State in the opener for the conference season. So the Vikings go up 2-0 after 2 sets of play. We have an intermission brought to you by Rambo. We're in the business of making you look good. Stick around. More from Rambo and more on this matchup coming up. This is the voice of the Vikings, the voice of the Valley, KOVC, with our VCSU Athletics YouTube coverage. Coverage also available at newsdakota.com.
We aren't meant to be still. And while you determine the direction you'll go, we're just here to help you along the way. So go. Go with experience. Go with teamwork. Go with neighbors. Go with integrity.
Hey college students, are you looking for a part-time job that works around your schedule, pays well, and gives you free money for college every year? McDonald's offers all of it. We can work around your schedule, and we give $2,500 scholarships to everyone who works for 3 months and averages 15 hours per week. That's 2 full shifts a week or 3 shifts of 5 hours. It's that easy. Let us help you become our next scholarship recipient. Come join our team. Text ND29 to 38000 to apply today. Experience the thrill, feel the passion, and join the excitement. Tickets on sale now at VCSUVikings.com.
Lang hard to the basket with a two-hand flush. He burst through it. He's to the end zone. Touchdown, Valley City State.
Here's the game-winning shot. Does it go? Yes, it does!
Nelson on the attack. Holland can't make the play. The Vikings sweep the Jimmy.
When you're craving the taste of juicy, flavorful, locally sourced beef and pork, look no further than your locally owned Valley Meat Supply. At Valley Meat Supply, we take pride in bringing you the finest cuts of beef and pork straight from local producers. So whether you're planning a mouth-watering barbecue or a cozy family meal, choose Valley Meat Supply for the highest quality, locally grown beef, pork, and award-winning jerky, sticks, and sausage. Valley Meat Supply, West Main, Valley City. Your taste buds will thank you.
Welcome back to our coverage of Viking volleyball here on the Voice of the Vikings, Voice of the Valley, KOVC, newsdakota.com, VCSU Athletics YouTube channel. We will go to set number 3 with the Vikings leading 2-0, taking home set wins tonight of 25-20 and 25-17. Vikings trying to go to 3-3 on the season. Mayville State 2-2. Coming into the night. Individual leaders that we have so far this evening. Valley City State, Macy Fridgen with 5 kills, hitting just 62 though, 062. Ellie Lucas, 4 kills, hitting 231 tonight. And I thought this was the case. They've got a different number on their game stats than they do on their live stats tonight. So those of you that are paying attention to the live stats tonight, the number's not accurate. Morgan Frigie does not have 4 kills. She has 7. And Frigie's hitting 333 for the night. So Morgan Frigie, a fine job. Danielle Hagler, 3 kills and just 7 attacks, hitting 429. It's been a really nice night as far as flexing the offense for the Vikings from their middle, which is what they wanted to do. Gracie Schumacher with 14 assists to lead the way for the Vikings tonight. Not a big digging night for Valley City State, and that's a problem for the Comets, just for the simple fact that they haven't been able to force a lot of digs from the Vikings. Serving is J.C. Richter for Valley City State. We're underway with the 3rd set. Off the near edge, an attack from Candace DeWitz on the Mayville State outside. Now on the outside, free ball from Fridgen. Was kind of out of the play, couldn't get through a teammate up front. Myshak is blocked, and the Vikings will take a 1-0 edge. Well, our scoreboard reset didn't work. Those of you on the video side, just watch that number go all the way down. We'll have to do it for the Comets as well. Again, problems with our scorekeeping technology tonight here at the Fieldhouse. Those of you that are inside the industry, you'll know it as a score bug. And there's a bug in the score bug. An attack will score from Myshak going from left to right on a tip up front. That'll make it 1 apiece. So the Vikings and Comets 1 each. And Mayville State will send Alex Nesheim into the matchup, a 5'4" defensive specialist out of Minot, North Dakota, a senior. An opportunity to step into a serving role here in this matchup. Nesheim will serve, and Richter reaches out to get to it. Back set right side, Lucas attacks and scores. Emma Lucas has had a really nice night tonight for the Vikings. They had her for 4 kills before that. That'll be her 5th. And the right pin got going early. Sometimes it's not about your total number that you post, but Emma Lucas took a lot of pressure off the middle tonight by showing that the right pin would be successful for the Vikings. It forced Mayville State to defend all 3 positions at the net, and that's where you establish your balance as Trinity Nyancourt comes up wide on an attack error, and it's 3-1 Vikings. For those of you that are football fans, just think of it this way. A good running game definitely benefits your passing game. You show that you're going to gouge. They've got to bring somebody up, 8 in the box. You get a chance to get one-on-ones out there. I mean, it's that kind of balance that you're looking for as an attack goes wide. No tip for the Vikings. An attack error from Myshak for Mayville State makes it 4-1. But when you have that going on, now they're going to change it. They're going to say there was a tip against Valley City State, and the point apparently is going to go to the Comets. Should make it 3-2. There they have it corrected on the scoreboard. But when you can establish your right pin early in a matchup, it's just beautiful because you force the defense to go out there and have to defend your right side hitter. They can't just let her swing free. And if you've got a good outside, like the Vikings do with Phrygian, and you've got options in the middle, you basically can't form a double team block anywhere. You got to go one-on-one, and offense is usually favored in one-on-one coverage, right? Here's an attack that'll score for Danielle Hagler, and that'll make it 4-2 Valley City State. Tori Richter will come back onto the floor for the Comets. And we're going to see Rosie Anderson come into the matchup for Valley City State. And the Vikings will send Madden Bogenreef in to do the setting. Bogenreef is a really big story for the Vikings. Madden's a freshman out of Moorhead, Minnesota. She's a setter. And when you've got to step in and you're going to go 6'2", you're going to leave the 5-1 system behind. You're going to go 6'2". You got to have 2 quality setters to turn the offense over to a freshman. That's a big, big play for Michelle Micklejohn as the swing from Trinity Nyancourt will score from Mayville State, cuts the lead to 1 at 4-3. But when you're going to turn the offense over to a freshman for a full rotation in the back row, 3 trips through, 3 rotations, that is a statement for a team like this, and Madden has shown she can be here. Had 99 assists coming into the night, 1 short of Gracie Schumacher's 100. Pass coming out to the far side, Rosie Anderson attacking. Tori Richter was there, made the play. Back to Schwanke, who defeats a touch and scores. And the Comets tie up the 3rd set at 4 each. LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard 4-4, Vikings Comets, 2-0. Valley City State with a lead 25-20 and 25-17. And Mayville State will have Noelle Erickson in for her service rotation. Erickson will set as well. A back pedal for the Vikings to get to it from Anapuliu. Big swing up front. Danielle Hagler comes up with another big kill. Every kill that Danielle Hagler registers is going to be something pretty big for her after the long rehab project that she had on that knee. To be able to get up and really do anything offensive and then be as good as she is, boy, those are just special, special moments for the Vikings. Here's another Hannah Whelan coming into the matchup for Valley City State. Good to see her getting some time for the Vikings. Rosie Anderson from the attack line. Dug a back row by Mayville State off to the right, and the attack will score that time for Jocelyn Austin. Ties up the match at 5. Hannah's out of Daisy, North Dakota, 5'4" defensive specialist. She's a senior, and she's been one of the mainstay coaches in the South Central Select Volleyball program that the Vikings have. So she's been a loyal part of this Viking volleyball team and loyal to volleyball in Valley City in general. She has an opportunity to step out and make a serve. Hagler attacking off of a touch covered by Mayville State. They'll set to their outside, and the tip coming from Jocelyn Austin. Vikings ready for it. Lucas will send one over. Trying to tip middle. Schwanke covers from the back row. Up front, the attack getting through and scoring, and Mayville State will take, I believe, their first lead of the night as we'll see a ball coming through from the Comets' Catherine Agnew. 6-5, Mayville State by 1. Destiny Schwanke, who's playing back row right now, you see her go all the way around for Mayville State as an offensive player, and you've got a special volleyball player when you're willing to take one of your hitters and play them all around. But Destiny Schwanke coming into the night with 44 digs, and that's second best on the team. So she's been a very good passer as well as an offensive player. An attack from Anderson, hit net, stays alive. Richter out of the back row. Free balls one across for Mayville State. Vikings back setting to the right pin, and Danielle Hagler again ties it up for the Vikings. You can see every time she celebrates as well. She's just an emotional leader out there. Danielle Hagler comes up with a swing and score. Vikings tie it up at 6 apiece. Third set, Vikings leading 2-0 on the Rulaco Financial scoreboard. This one's had a little bit less tempo to it. Here's a block that goes just wide from Valley City State's Morgan Freege. Comets take a 7-6 lead. Tori Richter will step back to serve for Mayville State. Richter standing ready to go. And the serve on the way from Richter misses on the near side. That'll tie it up at 7-all. So the Vikings and Comets even at 7 apiece. Gracie Schumacher will come back into the matchup for the Vikings. And Schumacher will take over as the server and setter for Valley City State in this half of the 6-2 that the Vikings have gone to. Middle, nobody home, but a desperate run from the back row by Schwanke. Sent one across. Freege attacking and scoring. And the Vikings go back up a point, 8-7 after 15 rallies here in the third on your Rulaco Financial scoreboard. Vikings took a 25-20 game, rather set one, won the second 25-17. Trying to find a sweep over Mayville State in the conference opener tonight. They'll set right pin, will Mayville State. Austin punches one across. Richter digs it up, an attack coming from Lucas. It was blocked, and Lucas covered her own. Stays on the attack line. Now Emma Lucas getting through, and the Comets' Destiny Schwanke stepping back, making a big play. J.C. Richter there, set. Lucas attacking, blocked. The Vikings covered Delaney Clark. Right side, Emma Lucas sending one over. Taken off the far side by Noelle Erickson. An attack coming from Austin off the far edge for Mayville State. Back to the right pin, Lucas. Covered again by Schwanke for the Comets. This will come back to their outside. Tip back across the net by DeWitts. The Vikings back to it. Lucas getting through a touch. Richter's there for Mayville State. Second contact try up front again from the setter. Off the near side, Lucas attacking. Missed the far line. Looking for a tip. They're not going to get it. Now the line judge on the near side says tip. Valley City State asking for the official to acknowledge the line judge. Line judge says tip here. And Chris Mahoney, our R1, hearing a cavalcade of boos from the Mayville State crowd, will ask the line judge to come over after one of the more spirited rallies of the night. Got a few Comet athletes that have come down, a few Viking athletes here. They're going to turn it over, and the Vikings are going to get the point. Well, Vikings fans, I would just go ahead and say this for the record. Don't expect a lot of fun up at the Louis Lee when the Vikings have to turn around and go up there later on in the year, and it won't be until later October, but their fans might remember this one. They don't feel like they've had fair cooking tonight in this matchup. Up front, Myshak gets blocked. This will be turned back towards the near side. An attack from DeWitts off the outside pin. Lucas trying to go deep. Run down back row by Schwanke. Back to the right. Austin into the net. Point to the Vikings. 10-7 Valley City State. If you're Mayville State, you can't afford to let this go too much further here. Down 2-0. The Vikings trying to find some momentum. Yeah, the call hurts. Serve on the way coming from Schumacher. Back up front, we'll see a joust at the net that's going to be won by Mayville State. That'll be from, I believe, Myshak that comes up with the play. Mayville State gets a badly needed side out and a joust up front. Nyhagen back in to do the setting and serving for Mayville State. 10-8 Vikings on the Rulaco Financial scoreboard here at the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. Been good to have you back tonight here at the Fieldhouse. The new Thoraldson addition, they've got earth moved for that. They're spreading out the ground. That's going to be a wonderful addition for the Vikings. You'll see it when you come out tomorrow for football. If you're not here tonight, come on out for football tomorrow. A block at the net by Lucas. Back towards the near side, this time an error coming from Mayville State. They tried Candace DeWitts twice on the outside pin. First time got blocked, second time didn't work out. 11-8, Valley City State by 3. And Macy Frigen comes back into the matchup. Frigen had a great start to the night, has tailed off, and the Vikings have had to go elsewhere to find their offense tonight. Here's a service error again coming from J.C. Richter. Comet lead cut to 2, rather Viking lead cut to 2 at 11-9. And Mayville State will send in a new player. This will be Alex Nesheim again for another opportunity to serve for the Comets. Nesheim sends one over, taken back row by Delaney Clark. Up front, Morgan Freege serving, or actually attacking and scoring. Boy, Morgan Freege, she's done some work in the offseason, you can tell. That vertical leap for Morgan Freege is higher, and she surveys the floor. One of the things she does so well, and I've been able to watch her since she was a high school player, her head stays forward, her eyes stay on the floor, and the game has really slowed down between the last couple of years and this year for Morgan Freege. You can tell she's in command of a play at the middle here this season anyway. Nyancourt punches one across for Mayville State. Frigian attacking from the outside, blocked. The Vikings get it back middle this time. The attack coming from Hagler. Schwanke steps back to save Richter's opportunity to dig one up, and the Vikings come up with a dig themselves in the back row. Big swing by Lucas, but Richter an even better play defensively. Saved by Nesheim on a free ball back to the Vikings. Set Frigian outside, defeating a block, but it's covered and pushed by Nyhagen deep. Good run by J.C. Richter to get to the line and defend. Now it's a tip coming from Hagler. The Vikings cover on second contact. Hagler again will score. 13-9, Danielle Hagler as the Vikings stay with it and get Danielle Hagler active. Their mission tonight has been to get Hagler active in the middle, and they have accomplished that goal. 13-9, the Vikings by 4. Serve on the way from Valley City State. It's be sent back across by Schwanke and blocked at the net by Lucas. Back to Mayville State. Nyancourt gets blocked. Mayville State has it back. This time they'll set outside. Schwanke tipping wide. No contact on the play coming from Mayville State. The Vikings don't tip. Point will go to the Vikings, 14-9, and Mayville State has to call for timeout. So the Comets will call for a stoppage, leading, the Vikings leading 14-9, 2-0 here in the third. The Vikings trying to make it a sweep and grab their first win in league play tonight. We're back with more in a couple of moments. This is Viking Volleyball on the VCSU Athletics YouTube channel, as well as the voice of the Vikings, the voice of the Valley, KOVC.
Hey college students, are you looking for a part-time job that works around your schedule, pays well, and gives you free money for college every year? McDonald's offers all of it. We can work around your schedule, and we give $2,500 scholarships to everyone who works for 3 months and averages 15 hours per week. That's 2 full shifts a week or 3 shifts of 5 hours. It's that easy. Let us help you become our next scholarship recipient. Come join our team. Text ND29 to 38000 to apply today.
When you're craving the taste of juicy, flavorful, locally sourced beef and pork, look no further than your locally owned Valley Meat Supply. At Valley Meat Supply, we take pride in bringing you the finest cuts of beef and pork straight from local producers. So whether you're planning a mouth-watering barbecue or a cozy family meal, choose Valley Meat Supply for the highest quality, locally grown beef, pork, and award-winning jerky, sticks, and sausage. Valley Meat Supply, West Main, Valley City. Your taste buds will thank you.
Welcome back to our coverage of Viking volleyball tonight. Here on the voice of the Vikings, the voice of the Valley, KOVC, VCSU Athletics YouTube channel. Nyancourt attacks long for the Comets. Vikings up 15-9. Again, the Frontier Conference wants to thank their corporate partners for continued financial support. They include BSN Sports and Nike, Cooper Tire and Tire-Rama, the D.A. Davidson Companies, Irk Hotels. As a serve from the Vikings, that's going to score on an ace for Valley City State. Coming off the hand of Annika Pulju. Also included in the corporate partners for the Frontier Conference, First Interstate Bank, Billings Clinic and Logan Health, McDonald's of Great Falls, Northwestern Energy, Pepsi of the Harrington Bottling Company, Snap Mobile, Winwan Technologies, and the Montana Army National Guard. Uncommon is calling. And we'll tell you more about the Frontier Conference app in a moment. Schwanke attacking and scoring for Mayville State. Comets back within 6 at 16-10. Don't forget to download the Frontier Conference app in partnership with Snap Mobile. The app is free to download. Just search FC Sports in your app store on Apple or Google Play for Android. And again, thank you for watching and listening to tonight's contest that we have for you out of the Frontier Conference. Emma Lucas tipping. Run down by Haley Johnson for Mayville State. Schwanke again getting through a touch. Good slide to cover that out of the back row for Pulju. Frigian attacking. She'll get off the block and score. Macy Frigian makes it 17-10. Valley City State by 7. And you get the feeling that right now time is growing short for the Comets. Vikings at 2-3, getting votes nationally. And if you're going to continue to get respect nationally, This is one of those matches that you don't want to just have, you want to have convincingly. Madden Bogenreef will serve for the Vikings. Nyhagen off to Haley Johnson on the right pin. Good cover out of the back row for the Vikings from Puglia defensively. Pushed back across by Rosie Anderson for Valley City State. Richter on the pass up front. Johnson attacking, hit it wide. They're going to call a tip, and Mayville State will get the point. And I've had a chance to cover a handful of Haley Johnson's matches in the past as a Red River standout, and I have never quite seen that face on her as when she was looking for that tip that she didn't get. It's been that kind of night, and maybe some sour feelings. I don't know that the tips would have made a difference as an ace is served up for Mayville State coming from Noelle Erickson as she steps in to do the serving. Lead cut to 5 at 17-12. Take a look at what's coming up here for the Vikings. Not sure if we'll have that for you or not. We do have a look at the schedule that's coming up here. Off the right side, Macy Frigid attacking and scoring. That'll make it 18-12. And we'll see if we can't show you that before we wrap up tonight, as we do have a look at what's coming up next for Valley City State, and all the way around as far as the athletic department. There's a lot of sports active. Hannah Whelan will serve. Tori Richter making the pass. Near side, a block from the Vikings. And I think they're going to call 4 contacts. They'll say that wasn't a block. They'll say the Vikings didn't touch. Mayville State committed the error in that situation. Oh, we got to get it on your screen for you there. There, we'll go ahead and do that, make it look all rogue tonight. But coming up next for the Vikings, Augsburg tomorrow, as we'll see the Vikings send one into the net on a service error. Volleyball on Friday against Montana Western, and cross country will be at the MSUM Dragon Twilight on September 5th. Then on Saturday, volleyball with Montana Tech, and on Sunday, baseball at the University of Minnesota Crookston. Yes, you can play games that count in the winter. I believe it's 6, or rather in the fall. I believe it's 6 that you can play that count. And then golf at the Spartan Invite coming up on Sunday as well. That'll be in Fergus Falls, and that's a 2-day event. That's what's coming up next for the Vikings. Mayville State attacking. Vikings leading 19-13. Lucas pushing. Long run for Schwanke. She's had an unbelievable match tonight for the Comets. She has really played well. Candace DeWitt sends one over free ball. And a look by Danielle Hagler. Caught part of the net and part of a touch. It's sent back to the Vikings. Another free ball. Back to Lucas, a tip on the right side. That'll score. And rather on the outside for Lucas. And the Vikings get to 20 again and make it a 20-13 matchup. Mayville State has a timeout to use, and Alora Pesa is going to use it here as the Vikings go up 7. Tomorrow night, it's the Vikings and Augsburg. That was a great game a year ago down in the Twin Cities. And Augsburg returns the favor, and the Vikings will play Thursday night twice this season. We had a Thursday night matchup at Dickinson State last week, and now a Thursday night matchup coming up with Augsburg tomorrow night. And we'll have that for you. By the way, that is the Egg Bowl, and by the way, it'll be a 6 o'clock kickoff tomorrow night from Dakota Bank and Locken Stadium. 6 o'clock kickoff tomorrow night. Our pregame report will be around 5:30, although we're going to hope. Tonight we had plans for a 6:30 pregame report, and again, for those of you that were tuned in and looking, our apologies. Just a real cluster of errors that we had happen tonight here at the Fieldhouse, and not sure exactly all of the different wires that we need to work around to make sure that our next event goes off a little bit more swimmingly, but we don't have long to get it done because we're over at the football field tomorrow in about, 21 and a half hours from now. 2013, the Vikings by 7 over Mayville State here in the third. Delaney Clark will step back to do the serving for Valley City State. So Clark standing ready. And the serve on its way. Destiny Schwanke back to make the pass for the Comets. Up front, Austin attacking. Good run to get to that by Bogenreef to cover. An attack from Rosie Anderson on the right pin. Second contact try. Freegee blocked that. It comes back up front. Now a joust at the net. The Vikings get it back. Lucas sends it over. Schwanke was back to make a pass. Now the Comets misread a play, and we're going to have a whistle. And 4 contacts will be the call against Mayville State. Vikings take a 21-13 edge. And the Vikings will have Delaney Clark back to do the serving. Off to the right side, an attack from the outside pin. Boy, that's a good swing for Austin, but the Vikings get a big dig of it. Lucas trying to attack deep, found the back line for the Vikings. The lead is 9 at 22-13. Leaders tonight, Morgan Freege with 9 kills, Danielle Hagler with 7, Macy Fridgen with 7. If you're a Viking fan, that's music to your ears. Both Lucases with 5. Not big numbers tonight, but certainly balanced numbers as the Vikings ran their offense from really every place at the net this evening. And there's a 2-tempo try from Madden Boldenreef showing off a little offense for the Vikings. Lead is 10, 23-13. The Vikings 2 away from taking a convincing win tonight here at the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. Delaney Clark serving. Ball to the far side, Austin tipping. That was run down by Rosie Anderson. Lucas attacking. Back off to the right side, DeWitts was there to make a play. DeWitts will get through a block and score. Candace DeWitts powers through a touch for the Comets. 23-14. Viking lead trimmed to 9. Still the Vikings on top. 2 away. Tori Richter will step back to serve for Mayville State. For the Comets, just going to have to develop another weapon up front. Freege attacking. And on second contact, Myshak will find the middle. Andrea Myshak's going to be a great player for Mayville State all season long, but 31 kills coming into tonight, rather 39, a .278 hitting percentage, but in the long run, doesn't get the ball quite enough perhaps, and Mayville State trying to find that other option without a lot of height. That's going to be something that they're going to deal with throughout the course of the year. Lucas swinging. Dug up back row by Destiny Schwanke, but they've got a player in Destiny Schwanke going all around. She's had a brilliant defensive night tonight. Morgan Freege gets around contact up front. Match point, Valley City State. The Vikings lead 24-15, up 2-0. And it's match point Vikings as Gracie Schumacher will step back to do the serving. Schwanke making the pass for Mayville State. Myshak up front tipping. Schumacher first contact. To the right, it's Lucas trying to put an end to it. Richter was able to keep it alive. Schwanke back to make a play, and we'll see DeWitts turn one across for Mayville State. Back to Lucas on the attack line. That's going to score after Schwanke couldn't make a play. Lucas comes up with a final play tonight. Valley City State wins going away to pull their record to 3-3 on the season. Your final score here tonight on the LaRue Laco Financial scoreboard will be Valley City State 3 and Mayville State University none. 25-20, 25-17, 25-15. Brief post-game report and a wrap-up coming up next here on the Voice of the Vikings, the Voice of the Valley, KOVC, and the VCSU Athletics YouTube channel. Stay with us.
Are you on the right financial path? Are all your financial professionals on the same page? At LaRue Laco Financial, you can be assured that your investment professional and tax professional are working together. Call Ryan LaRue or Chase Carpenter at 701-845-6938. Securities offered through LPL Financial. Member FINRA, SIPC.
Hi, this is Clint from Central Avenue Health Mart Pharmacy in beautiful downtown Valley City, your only locally owned pharmacy since 1989. When you're locally owned, you care about your community and your customers. We offer a great selection of gifts and toys, as well as yarns, fabrics, sewing, and crafting. We are here for you from 9 to 5:30 weekdays and Saturdays 9 to 1. For all your pharmaceutical needs, give us a call, 845-5280.
Health Mart, taking time to listen and care.
Well, the crowd files out. We had a great one tonight. A great crowd here tonight for a Wednesday night volleyball affair. And I'll tell you what, Viking fever is back here in Valley City. Good to get the season started. The Vikings are now 3-3 on the year, 1-0 in the journey through the Frontier Conference as they knock off Mayville State this evening by a 3-0 margin, 25-20, 25-17, 25-15 with the win. The Vikings improved to 3-3, 1-0 in the league. Mayville State drops to 0-1 in the conference and will drop to 2-3 in the overall campaign. Brief summary tonight. The Vikings wanted to get their middles going. Michelle Micklejohn told us in the pregame report they wanted to see the ball in the middle more. You heard about her new setters stepping in. and they had done a wonderful job, but she wanted to see middle development tonight. Well, you'll see that. Morgan Friege, 10 kills, hit 400 tonight. Danielle Hagler, 7 kills, hit 538 tonight. That's what you're looking for when you're trying to develop your middles. But, you know, give credit where credit is due. The reason why those middles developed as well as they did, Macy Frigen was on fire early. She had 7 kills tonight and slowed down a little bit as the match went on, but she had 3 or 4 in the very early going tonight. And Emma Lucas with a fantastic night as well. 5 kills. Again, the number not big, but one of the reasons why the Vikings had success elsewhere was because they developed their right pin and showed that the edges were going to be really hard to defend, and you weren't going to be able to block everybody. You just weren't going to be able to put a double team up there anywhere, and so you had to play everybody one-on-one. And what the Vikings showed tonight against Mayville State, and maybe against other teams, if you don't come at the Vikings with some size in those positions up front, you're going to have a really hard time defending what it is the Vikings throw at you. Now, to keep this in a more realistic tone for a lot of our fans, we saw Frontier Conference competition at the really top end of the conference during the national tournament run a couple of years ago down in Sioux City, Iowa. And they've also seen it in the non-conference season before. But let me tell you, these Frontier Conference teams that are on the upper echelon are built to be big, and they're built to be physical. So the teams the Vikings see in conference are probably going to be a little different than this Mayville State team was that they played tonight. So it may be a little bit more difficult to develop offense when you get to those types of matches, but the blueprint was there tonight for the Vikings. Establish the pins, get the middle open, make those players available, and then hit. And the Vikings had a lot of options tonight. Individual numbers, Morgan Friege, 10 kills, 400. Danielle Hagler, 7 kills, 538. Macy Frigen, 7 kills, only 150. That's okay. Ellie Lucas, 6 kills, 238. Emma Lucas, 5 kills, 167. Tonight, assist numbers on the night for the Vikings. Gracie Schumacher, 24 assists tonight. Madden Bogenreef, 11. Schumacher, a nice night assisting. And again, the Vikings ran some things offensively, tips, blocks, that type of thing, that maybe took some of the assist numbers down a little bit. Defensively tonight, J.C. Richter, 11 digs this evening to lead the way. Delaney Clark had 8. Madden Bogenreef had 8 digs tonight to go with her. 11 assists this evening. As far as blocks were concerned, that's something that you really like to look at throughout the night. And Macy Frigen gets a solo. Morgan Friege had a pair. Rosie Anderson had a pair. Danielle Hagler a block and an assist. And Emma Lucas with a block tonight as well. And that will do it for your post-game summary tonight. Now tomorrow, 6 o'clock kickoff from the Dakota Bank Field, the new turf at Valley City State. And it looks gorgeous over there. And we'll have about a 5:30 pregame, we hope. That's Lord willing and the creek don't rise, okay? We'll have that for you coming up tomorrow from Locken Stadium, just off to the west of the W.E. Osmond Fieldhouse. And as we wrap up again, big thank you to the corporate partners for the Frontier Conference tonight. And don't forget to download the Frontier Conference app in partnership with Snap Mobile. The app is free to download. Just search for FC Sports in the App Store or Apple, or Google Play for Android. Your final score tonight, the Vikings 3. The Comets nothing. 25-20, 25-17, and 25-15. For KOVC Sports, for Viking Volleyball, and for all of you and all of our sponsors tonight, we wish you good night. Thank you for joining us. You've been listening to Viking Volleyball here on the Voice of the Vikings, the Voice of the Valley, KOVC.